Okay, so we're going to talk today about relationships in recovery. Now, this is a very controversial subject. The commonly held belief in the industry and in recovery is that one should not have a relationship, an intimate relationship, in the first year of recovery, and certainly not in rehab. There's a lot of talk about 13 stepping when you go to meetings in order to get laid,
Rehab romance.
rehab romance. But I tried. If you're going to have men and women together in a place, relationships are going to happen. So either they're going to happen as a learning opportunity, or people are going to be screwing in the broom closets. And so at some
And
point,
we've had both.
we have. In the beginning, I tried to make it separate, like men couldn't talk to women, and that was really ridiculous. And so since relationships have been a real issue for me, something I've learned about over time, I wasn't really good at it for a long time. And since Rabbi and I work out our relationship publicly here, at some point I thought, well, let's use relationships as a learning opportunity. And so since you two seem to have one, apparently, I thought maybe you might want to talk about it, how it happened and how it's been.
So first off, I gotta thank you, Harriet, for the idea. Because without this idea of people being able to engage in relationships in recovery, I would not have the blessing, which is my wife today and my family. So one thing that working next to Harriet and Rabbi, they teach and they talk about a lot is where the relationship is met, right? Are you guys meeting in the light, or are you guys meeting in your dark spots? Because as we both know from our own journeys in recovery, change can be difficult, and adding somebody to that change, if you're in a dark place, can result in some issues in the future. So first off, I gotta say that the relationship that we created was definitely met in the light. When I met Lindsay, instantly there was something about her that attracted me to her more than her physical presence. Her personality, the way she lit up a room, when her smile, is just infectious. So for me to get an opportunity to see how this would blossom, it was a blessing. I came in a little defeated with the relationship, as I was had a work therapy internship, and I actually had a talk with Rabbi when he seen the start of the relationship, and he told me, Lindsay seems like a great individual, but you working in clinical, it's not going to work one way or another. Not that you don't do good work for us, but I cannot hire you if you continue to engage in this relationship. But what he followed that up is that she seems like a great individual, great girl, and I wouldn't ask you to make a decision. And I told him I can't. I haven't experienced the opportunity of being with somebody that cared for me, or that was a healthy mirror for me. The relationships that I engaged in my addiction were very get what I need, take what I need. The other individual as well, take what I need, get what I need. And there was no reciprocity.
Yeah, I just want to clarify this. Because you were should you be hired, we do not allow relationships between staff and residents. I want to be clear for the camera and for everybody that wants to throw
that's
a
a
lug at us.
non-negotiable.
Yes.
Right,
The
that is
only non-negotiable.
Right.
Yes. So, where was I?
You were starting a relationship.
Yeah, so the start of the relationship, for me, it was really effortless being around Lindsay. The support that I get from this woman is incredible. Me still in recovery, understanding my character defects. I'm a very selfish man. And I'm selfish in the fact that I'm trying to create an existence for my family that I didn't have as a child. My motivations for life is school and education and really prospering. bringing bringing change to the lives of those that are still struggling. That was learned in this place, and never once have I heard this lady complain, ever. Just support, always the voice of reason. They talk about awe in this place. Yeah, she's the voice of reason, which is, yes.
Somebody's got to be.
She is
But
the
I
voice
know
of reason. And you also know me.
Yeah, look at what I'm dealing with here.
Well, that's true. In comparison, I get it.
So how does he help your recovery, Lindsay?
Well, I feel like with him, I didn't like him at first. So I was just like, who is this guy? You know, I wasn't really looking for a companion. I was just looking to find my way in life. And something between him and I just came to be that we were just drawn to each other. But for me, what he brings to my life is stability. He brings this security and this stability and this understanding, like he can finish my sentences. He knows, he knows the sides that I want for dinner. These little things, right? And he knows that I'm not going to fold that laundry that he just did, but he still just is like, okay, she'll do it eventually, and he won't bug me about it, you know? But like, he just is my other half. He brings that piece of companionship that I never really had growing up from parents and from siblings. I was always just kind of alone. And so now I have this little family with this partner will call me out on my bullshit and be like, no, that's not right. No, that doesn't even make sense. I know you're pregnant, but don't baby brain me. That's not even cool. No. And then there are times where he's like, oh, you know, that's right. But then there are times where we do battle, you know what I mean? Where he'll say something and I'm like, no, I don't like the way you said that. I don't like the way you said that. And I'll come back and we'll talk later. And he'll come back and be like, you know, you were right. I'm sorry. So also he makes it to where in my past relationships, I used to kind of just walk on eggshells. It was it was just one of those relationships. It was just, it was like a beaten dog type of thing. You know, you just walk on eggshells and you don't say much. But with him, I know I can express how I feel, and he's not going to come back at me and be like abusive or whatever. We can sit and talk normal.
So putting on my therapist hat, okay, I have to say something first. We call that, what you're talking about, corrective emotional experiences, that a good relationship between two people can heal the wounds of childhood. And I think that's what you just described so beautifully.
How did, I agree, and how did Harriet's relationship group, did you guys do any of the relationship building with her while you were here, or how did her relationship group help you?
So because of that, the catch-22, and the way our relationship was formed, we didn't really get the opportunity while we were in treatment. But what we do get from both of them daily is a constant partnership in our own relationship. The ability to go and talk to them about the good, bad, and ugly, because look, we're both 4 years sober, married 2 years with a 2-year-old and another child on the way. To act like this thing has been easy by any means, it's not. There's been there's been hard points, and there's been moments of tears and sadness that have been embraced by the partnership here. So to answer the question, the relationship group wasn't utilized while we were in treatment, but it's utilized since the relationship has been built.
And how about you? Didn't you go to the women's relationship group with Harriet?
I went like one time.
Oh.
But I also had an internship. That's why I was only in your Shiva group twice, other than the fact that you scared me.
Oh, okay.
So the essence of the teaching in the relationship group is the most important thing I learned about relationships, which is that love is not a feeling. Love is a commitment to act in loving ways no matter what you feel. Yeah. Would you agree, husband?
Absolutely. And the signs of a good marriage is how many.
Bite marks you have in your tongue.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think the last thing I just really want to share about just our relationship period is the ability for each of us to find our own happiness. The truth is, this woman brings a lot of happiness, but she's not my happiness. And I feel the same way. I feel that each day that I get to go and explore life as a new individual, as a recovered man in the world, and I find my own happiness and I find my moments of joy, and I get to bring them back. And then this is what creates the awe. This is what creates the awe in our relationship.
I think that's how it started too. When he was doing his own thing, when I got here, he was here a few months before I was. And I was doing my own thing. And then when it came about that he wouldn't possibly be able to work here if we were in a relationship, that's when I kind of like, okay, well, he's already got this going on. And I drew the line and was like, okay, during the day and all this other, when you're doing what you have to do, we're separate. We're not going to sit here and be all, like, oh, hi, how are you? Hi, nice to see you. I just saw you. But it was really time to like focus on ourselves and do what we needed to do. And if he was going to get hired or build something for himself, he had to stand on his own, just like I did as well. So it was very important for us to stay separate, come together maybe for dinner, and then maybe on the weekend have one time where we go to the movies. And that was it. That was our extent of, we didn't flaunt ourselves around here. We did what we had to do for ourselves first, and we continue to still do that. I work, he works, he goes to meetings. We come together when it's time to come together, and, it's usually at the end of the day when it's time for dinner and the bedtime.
When Rabbi and I were pre-marriage, we were going to see a rabbi who has helped us. And he taught us something really important, which is what I think you just said. That was a shocking idea to me. He said that your partner should not be your primary source of emotional support. You should get that outside of the marriage so you can bring your best self to the marriage. And that challenged everything that I thought I knew about what a partner was, which was the place where you dump,
Yeah. I think that's exactly it, well put, and exactly how our relationship continues to blossom.
That's what you just described. Yeah,
Right.
Beautiful.
So I want to thank you. I want to thank you for your friendship. I want to thank you for your ability to teach Harriet, myself, and so many others in how to be loving and be your own human being. You really exemplify that 1 + 1 = 3, not just in children, but how you bring God into the relationship, and really how great the two of you are.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Guys.